If you haven't heard the news that Charlie Kirk was shot at Utah Valley University, and it seemingly was a fatal shot. This just happened about 30 minutes ago. This is going to be a little bit tough because it's really difficult. I'm still trying to process this because I've talked about Charlie Kirk and other influencers from the MAGA sphere in the past and how they are manipulating and poisoning young men's brains. Um, I have nothing good to say about Charlie Kirk, who he was and what he did. But of course, he does not deserve to be shot dead, if that's the case, which certainly seems to be the case. If you know about my channel, I am all about eliminating corruption from politics and stopping the bullshit division between red and blue, because it can't go anywhere but continue to get worse. And you may not know who Charlie Kirk is, but young people, Gen Z, certainly know who he is. He has millions of followers and he's extremely influential. And I think influential in a very bad way for young people. But nonetheless, he certainly doesn't deserve to be shot because of his political views, no matter how polarizing they are. And this is what I talk about frequently, this continuing hate, red versus blue, blue versus red, can lead us to nowhere good. And this is going to be, even if you're not familiar, so if you're a Gen Xer like me or even millennial, you may not know Charlie Kirk that well unless you subscribe to him on social media. But this is going to be a big deal. Um, we don't know who the shooter is yet. They have him in custody apparently. But this is going to be different because it was, a couple months ago, there was two politicians, I believe in Michigan or Wisconsin, that were shot. And it was very little coverage other than a couple days of coverage. And they were Democrats. So they were on the blue side, right? This ridiculous blue versus red nonsense. But they were shot dead, and that was only covered briefly. And the right didn't make a big deal out of it. They kind of silenced it and went away. You're not going to see that this time. This is a far right-wing influencer who is extremely influential and part of the manosphere that is, by design, to enrich themselves, responsible for continuing to divide America, those who prescribe to the red side or the blue side. It's all meant to divide and conquer. Charlie Kirk was created Turning Point USA. He was also loosely affiliated with Tenet Media, which was the organization that was given $10 million by the Russians last year, and then the Justice Department shut them down. So there's no proof that Charlie Kirk received money from the Russians. But there is a pretty close affiliation between Turning Point USA, which is Charlie Kirk's organization, and the group that was associated with Tenet Media receiving $10 million from the Russians. So the Russians want to see us divided. The Chinese want to see us divided, red and blue. It helps them. But this is a sad day. It's going to be a big deal, I think. I think this is going to be a really big day. I don't know how this is going to transpire, but things are going to get probably even nastier. And if you know me about TK Civics, my goal is to eliminate corruption from politics and to let people on the red side and the blue side see the common ground of how the lack of responsible elected officials and responsible representation is destroying America day by day. So that's my thoughts on the matter. Violence is definitely not the answer. You'll see people talk about it in the comments that, this is bound to happen, things like that. Yeah, but it's not good. This is not the direction anyone wants to go in. So that's my initial first impressions on it. If Charlie Kirk has met his demise, which it seems like he certainly has, it's going to be interesting, the blue versus red. It was nice to see at least some people on the blue and red side, of course, come out against the shooting, which everybody always should. That's my thoughts. What do you think about Charlie Kirk and his shooting? Um, this is not the direction we want to go in America. So it's just another domino that continues to fall. And if you're on the blue side and you're saying good riddance, you need to look in the mirror, no matter what you thought of him, and say that is not acceptable. You are just as disgusting as if it happened the other way. This is not the America that I certainly want to live in, and I believe most of you listening to this don't want to live in an America where we can't have strong discussions about politics, and more importantly, all these forces that are trying to divide and conquer us, and that includes special interests, billionaires, and corporations. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.